Hello and welcome to the first part of a two-part basics episode on railway signalling, a quick look at aspects of the early railways. Today, with train speeds in excess of 100 miles an hour, trains are controlled using in-cab signalling methods, and train movements are controlled in the UK at least by 12 rail operating centres or ROCs. These are massive office blocks at strategic locations on the UK network, controlling a specific region or part of that network. But how did it all begin when a high-speed train was not 125 miles an hour, but 25? Well, the policing of railways began with an Act of Parliament dated the 30th of June 1826. This compelled all railway companies to employ one superintendent, 4 officers and numerous gatekeepers, who were to prevent accidents to the public, prevent sabotage, prevent the theft of railway materials or coal, and prevent the theft of passengers' luggage or any other goods conveyed by rail. After the passing of the Special Constables Act of 1831, the railway police were all sworn as special constables and granted the power of arrest on railway property, but not outside of railway property. However, the Special Constables Act compelled them to act outside the confines of railway property if required. These railway constables were also the first railway signallers, and are why signalmen in the UK are still referred to as bobbies, a nickname inherited from Sir Robert Peel's Metropolitan Police. The Liverpool and Manchester Railway, which opened in September 1830, appointed 60 such railway constables under the command of Lieutenant, later Captain Brooks, a half-pay naval officer. As such, he was used to maintaining a strict discipline and maintaining a large number of men. They were all dressed in tall leather top hats. They wore blue tailcoats and white fustian trousers, a uniform very much reminiscent of the peelers in London. They were issued with a truncheon, the truncheon being the traditional badge of office of a constable, and usually they were very elaborately painted. They had a pair of handcuffs, a whistle, a hand lamp, and red, white and green signal flags. These constables were tasked with maintaining the safety of the railway. One constable was posted for every mile of the railway, equipped with their flags and lamps. Higher paid constables were tasked with manning the various switches, and yes, we might think the term switch is an Americanism, but switch is the correct term for a point in the 1830s. And they were also employed at each of the level crossings to man the crossing gates. In order to protect them from the elements, wooden watch boxes were provided. These were made from wood, about 6 feet square and painted blue with a lamp on the top, and they were where the constable could take his snap or secure an arrested felon. Of course, these watch boxes, alias police boxes, were definitely smaller on the inside. To control the trains, flags were used by day and lamps by night. The trains on the Liverpool and Manchester Railway were run to a time interval system, so that there was always a minimum interval of 20 minutes between each train. The constables had to time the passage of a train, and if the following train was coming up too fast, to signal it to stop or to slow down, or if everything was okay, to proceed safely. In order to stop a train, a red flag was used in the day and a red lamp was shown at night. To cause a train to slow down, a green flag was used and a corresponding green lamp at night. The green flag was also a different shape, being swallow-tailed. To show the line was clear and everything was safe, a white flag and a white lamp were used. The Liverpool and Manchester Railway rules and regulations note that any lamp or flag or any other object waved violently was considered to be always a signal to stop, and drivers were ordered to always respond to a signal even if they did not know the cause. If the constable had neither flags nor lamps, hand signals were used. Both hands outstretched over the head signified danger to stop immediately. One arm raised meant caution to slow down, and one arm out to the side meant all was clear. Because a steam whistle had yet to be invented, the firemen and the guards of the trains were to blow a horn when approaching the level crossings, and the gatekeeper was to respond in a like manner. The board of directors of the Liverpool and Manchester Railway later ordered that a bell was to be constantly rung as a train passed over the level crossing in order to warn road users. Bells were also rung at night and in foggy weather at each of the level crossings to warn road users and the trains that a crossing was coming up. And this ringing of bells is a practice later fossilised in American practice. These hand flags were quite small. The regulations note they were 1 foot by 2. They're not terribly visible. So they were supplemented but not replaced by flagpoles at the stations and level crossings up which a red flag could be run to stop the train. But the problem with the flags was, unless it was a windy day, the flag simply hung limply and were of little or no use. So instead an iron board painted red on both sides was used. If the red side could be seen, it meant danger and to stop, and if you couldn't see the signal, it meant all clear. The Liverpool and Manchester Railway, however, despite being such a pioneer in terms of railway signalling, stuck to working its line as late as 1845 with exactly the same methods as it had adopted in 1830. Constables with flags and lamps posted all along the line. There was no electric telegraph, and only 2 fixed signals which were installed at Newton Junction, where the Grand Junction Railway from Birmingham joined the Liverpool and Manchester main line. Yet despite this crude signalling and safety management system, it all worked. William Huskisson was of course not the first person to be killed on a railway, nor the first person to be killed in an accident on the Liverpool and Manchester. Between September 1830 and July 1845, I think is a testament to the success of the safety management system of the Liverpool and Manchester that only 18 passengers were killed on the railway. And that includes one little old lady who died in a carriage from a visitation of God. So that's a quick look at railway signalling in the 1830s. We'll have a quick look at early types of fixed signal next time. If you have enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe. And if you are interested in railway signalling and early railway operation, perhaps you'd like to check out my book, The Liverpool and Manchester Railway, An Operating History, coming soon from Pen and Sword Transport.